Dwarves are known for loving and treasuring jewels of the earth. They work non-stop at the things they love the most, and time is only measured by the progress that they accumulate. Whether working on a project that is 3 years long, 30 years, 300 years, or 3,000 years to complete, time is only secondary, for the most important thing is the progress that is being made. Dwarves in general love what they do and do what they love. They create enduring works that last beyond the passing cultural fashions. A great example of this is, of course, Tolkien, who spent 12 years fine-tuning his masterwork, The Lord of the Rings, in addition to the 30 years he had accumulated studying the world of Middle-earth. In the story of The Hobbit, there's a jewel called the Arkenstone. The Arkenstone was discovered soon after the establishment of the kingdom of the dwarves. It became an heirloom of the kings, which was passed down from one king to another. However, when the great dragon infiltrated and conquered the great mountain in which the dwarf kings had settled, the dwarves had been ran away from their kingdom, and this precious jewel, the Arkenstone, was lost, for they had to evacuate the mountain because there was a dragon who did not want them there. The Arkenstone remained in possession of the dragon dwelling in the mountain that was hoarding all the treasure for himself. He did not want to share. Jewels and treasures are considered precious, but there's always one that surpasses them all. In this case, the Arkenstone was the most precious jewel of the entire treasure guarded by the dragon. There were all kinds of precious jewels that this dragon was guarding, but the Arkenstone was the most precious to the dwarves. It is interesting to point out that to the elves, there was a different kind of jewel that was precious to them. Not the Arkenstone, but a prize jewel which they call the necklace of Girion. It's important to point out that in this story of The Hobbit, there are different tribes, races, communities of these Middle-earth dwellers. Dwarves, elves, men, hobbits, wizards. And each group prized different jewels differently. To the dwarves, the Arkenstone was the most precious jewel out of the entire treasure vault, but to the elves, it was the necklace of Girion that was the most precious jewel out of the treasure vault. The most important idea, at least based upon my interpretation, is that each person, each group, tribe, culture, society must find their equivalent of the Arkenstone. Without the Arkenstone, without this most precious jewel, the entire kingdom falls and crumbles. For example, to offer some examples of what I am referring to, we have the Buddhists, the Tibetan Buddhists, who consider the Dharma to be the most precious jewel in their tribe. That is their Arkenstone. For the Mormons, for example, they have what is popularly known as the Book of Mormon. Now, we can think and say what we may about the Mormons, but at least they serve as an example of a tribe that is living these mythological lifestyles. And the Book of Mormon for them is their Arkenstone. Regardless of whatever genre, whether it's a classical genre, a modern genre, Buddhist, Mormon, Catholic, or evangelical, the point is that each group, each tribe has to have their own version of the Arkenstone. Just like in The Hobbit, the dwarves consider the Arkenstone their precious jewel, but the elves consider the necklace of Girion their precious jewel. In the same way, it doesn't matter if you have the Tibetans who consider the Dharma their precious jewel, or the evangelicals who are centered around the Gospels. The point that I want to get across is that this Arkenstone has to be found in order for us to begin prospering in our endeavor and projects that we undertake here in this earthly manifestation.